We raised our first round in January 2013 of approximately 2 crores. And here were the guys that we set out that would actually help us. So the folks that came out were a gentleman named, as I mentioned, Shripad Natkarni, a gentleman named Apurva Salarpuria, who again I religiously LinkedIn like crazy until he responded to me, and also one of my professors from undergrad. And the idea here was to understand and identify. So very clearly, this is at the market identification stage for me, for us. To see, is this market the right one, and are we aligned to it? And that's where these investors helped a lot. So we raised our first round in 2013, and again, the reason I'm bringing the business side into the fundraising, to show you what we actually did with this raise. The next round came to us a little later. So at this point, we'd sort of figured out, this is a space we want to play in, this is a space that's exciting. And then my co-founder, and I think, again, Sandeep touched upon this earlier as well, on the talent side, my co-founder, who was a chef, very different sort of risk profiles between me and him, was sort of not convinced to take the leap in the beginning. But once we got a little bit of traction and we raised this next round, he joined me full time, and that was in 2014. Also was able to attract our current COO, and who I like to call my partner in crime, Rahul. And so Rahul had an organic milk startup business, and he met us because he was trying to sell milk to us to buy as customers. And I basically told him that I don't think this business is going to go anywhere, but I really like you. You want to join forces, and that worked out. And another interesting sort of thing when you're looking, I think some folks are talking about being individual founders. It's not just sort of your networks; it's also your business partners, your vendors. You never know where you'll find someone you want to work with. I think the idea there is to just keep an open mind, and that's where sort of Chef and Rahul joined full time. And this is when we decided that the goal now for us was market entry. So we've identified the market, and now we want to enter this market. So for us to do that was to get into FMCG distribution, as I mentioned, get into some of these stores as you've heard of. And in the beginning, it was modern trade for us. So we raised 5 crores this round, and this was now moving on from some of those mentors and getting into some of the individual investors, including some of those mentors. And I have to say, something that I look at today, I look at my cap table, and at this point in time, we spoke to a lot of sort of venture capital investors, and I'm going to talk about that a little later as well. And I'll show you some of the responses we got at this point in time. I'll take you through that as well. But at the end of the day, we knew we needed the capital. We knew we needed to move forward. So what ended up happening for us in this round is we ended up raising small amounts of money from a lot of people. So this 5 crores was almost 15 to 20 people that invested that kind of money in small chunks. Yes, it was difficult to navigate, it was difficult to manage, but I had a commitment to my partners who were joining me, and I had a commitment to building the business. So we raised this money in 2014, and the goal again was market entry. So getting into product and packaging, getting the manufacturing going, as well as getting into the stores. So this was sort of our second round of funding before the institutional round came in.